Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is June 19th, which is the next to last Saturday. It is also officially a federal holiday. Thank you, President Biden. Long overdue, but there is still a lot of work to go. A lot of work to go. Especially considering that in 15 states, you actually can't teach the reason why Juneteenth is a federal holiday. But small victories. Still a long way to go, but small victories. All right, so we've got, what do we have today? Don't have any haul this week. Yeah, don't have any haul. It's actually a little surprising. Well, I don't have haul this week for you. These things do happen. I do, however, have whipped updates and a rotation change and some Q&A. So, without further ado, we're going to dive on in to the Q&A, and then we'll hit the whips and the rotation changes. A waka waka doo doo, yeah. Stitches in Costa Rica asks, are you reading the complete Little Women or only the first part? It is the complete one. So it will be in full. I actually wasn't aware that it was in two parts until that was asked. Now I know. Knowing is half the battle. Heather Gallegos asks, does someone make my sweaters or cardigans? I love them. They are fabulous. I actually got this at Walmart, of all places, which Kim Stitcher did reply and say. But yes, I got this at Walmart, of all places, back in the fall, early winter. It was after we had moved in, but I think it was before Thanksgiving. We're going to go with that at least. But no, I love this thing, and it has pockets. So, and a hood that I hardly ever have up because I don't actually really like hoods, especially since I just got my hair cut today, so it looks good, and I need to not do that. Jane Gentry asks, how is X Jude's fabric? This is only my first piece. I'm using it on the Owl Forest Alice in Wonderland. But I like it so far. I haven't had any problems with it. By and large, unless it's like super stiff, like Whitchell's tends to be, or super openly, loosely woven the way Weeks Dye Works old fabric was, I really don't have a problem with it. That's just me. So, there we go. All right, that's kind of it for the Q&A. As y'all know, that's driven by y'all. So if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have testimonials, please don't be afraid to drop them below. I always enjoy seeing them. I'm trying to be a little better about answering questions that seem a little more time pressing. I'm really trying to answer those in the comments as well. But of course I will answer them here. So, yeah, don't be afraid to drop the Q&A down to me. All right. So, what did I work on? Well, before we get into that, we got a little bit of story. I kind of hit a point where I was really sort of struggling this week with my stitching. Partially because I'm still waiting on Aurafill, so I can't really work very well on either Alice or the Satsuma Street Wizard, which is driving me a little bit insane because they're just so stinking cute. I just want to work on them. But all I have are accent colors to go by, which does me no good. No good at all. But it's okay. So I was feeling a little stagnant. I was looking at the projects I had to work on, and I wasn't 100% feeling them, but not in the way like, oh, I don't really want to work on this one because I'm bored of it. It was just, none of them really specifically were calling to me. And I've been struggling a little with the monthly goals, and I didn't have a quilt that I was really ready to start because I've still got to do the back for the Phoebe quilt, but I still got to get the fabric for that, and it was just a whole thing. And I started working on Atlantis again, and then I was kind of burning myself because it and Alice are both by Al Forrest, and as we all know, Garrett does not do well when he has more than one project by the same designer going at a time. Really, even sometimes the same theme. So, all of that, which got dumped on poor Imogen, because unfortunately for her, the person I would normally dump on, Zav, was out of town this week. So she got to hear all of it and all of my hand-wringing. And finally, I settled back on the idea of a wheel to take the pressure off of me. But I also decided, well, yes, I'm okay to have like a goal-ish idea in my head. I'm gonna switch back to either 3 days or 500 stitches, whichever comes first. Because some projects, 3 days, if it's one that's real dense and it's slower going, by 3 days I'm ready to be done, and I may not be at 500 stitches. Subsequently, some go really quickly, and I'll hit 500 stitches a little bit faster. Or if it's a weekend. So that's what I did. Now, what I did as well was I pulled stitch-alongs out of the wheel. Because theoretically, eventually I'll get caught up and I can just work on those as they release. But partially because if they're on the wheel and I've already completed that because the Sal piece came out and then it pops up on my wheel, then it's pointless. So, no stitch-alongs are on the wheel. I did replace Atlantis on the wheel. I'll show you what little I did get done, but it was like pulling teeth to get me to do even the little bit of stitching that I did do on it. I'm sorry, Mandy. I'm supposed to be stitching it along with her, and I really like it, but I can't do both it and Alice, and right now my love is going towards Alice. I also changed up my work project a little bit because I could. This is a whole lot. This is a week. This was just a week of agonizing over things that I shouldn't really need to agonize over, but I did because that's how I roll, yo. So I replaced Atlantis with something else. So I'm going to show you the projects that I brought out that were already whips that I've brought back out. And then one of them is going to be one that I'll be starting this week. So, first off, I brought out from the depths of the deep. Actually, it was one I worked on earlier this year, and then I decided I needed to frog and change some of the colors in, and then just didn't pick back up again. I'm not really entirely sure why. Hold, please, while I make my tablet do what I want it to do. Should have had this prepared already. Please forgive me. I'm a horrible person. Not really. I know I'm not a horrible person, but for story's sake. So, I brought back out the magical joy that is Beatrix Potter by the Primitive Hare. So, this is what it looks like overall. Terrible picture, I know. I'll get a good one to put down there. I I had done part of the writing, the verse in the middle, which says, there is something delicious about writing the first words of a story. You never quite know where they'll take you. And the blue that I had picked was not showing up. It was not easy to read. So I went back to the drawing board on the blue, but I had started a little bit of Beatrix herself. Well, 500 stitches later, I also realized that I accidentally dropped a row off, so that's going to be fun. Fortunately, I figured out where it was and I adjusted. I just need to make sure that when I do the snails that I add a row above her head for them and that I line up the bottom correctly. But there's where I got on her. So I got a good chunk of her outline and a good start on filling in the dress. This is on Deep Fried from Fortnite Fabrics. It is an Ada. And I've got a little Peter Rabbit needle minder. So I'm actually really pleased with how much I got done. 500 stitches actually was actually more than I expected it would look like. Because of all the solid fill, I will indeed be working on that one as I go. And so it'll be, let's do a strand of the fill-in and then work on something else. And then strand of the fill-in and work on something else. So, because I find that's the easiest way to finish that stuff out. The other project I brought out to throw into the rotation is an oldie but a goodie. It is The Common Thread by Jeanette Douglas Designs. So here is the full pattern. I'm in this section right here currently. And I think I kind of stalled out a little bit because part of it was going to be a whole bunch of over one. And as we all know, Garrett doesn't really like over one. But that's okay. We're going to make it happen. So here's where I'm at on it. But I really do love this piece, and I enjoy specialty stitches, and so I just need to get over my whole over one thing and just get over myself. Yeah. So that's where I'm at on it. So those are the two that I brought out and added back into the rotation. So all the other ones that were in there originally are still part of the rotation. But this does sort of free me up a little bit from the month-to-month goal making. I'll still probably make vague goals, but if I don't hit them because I overestimated, that's fine too. Alright, so we'll talk about the new start at the end. So what all did I work on this week? Well, I did indeed finish up Little Women. This is on Eccentric Sky, and this is the Stitching Book Club. So it's from, it's from Stitching Book Club. So that's where I'm at. So I got part 1 done. Very pretty. And I did couch the pink thread. So all right. So that one is caught up on. I'm not caught up on my reading. That's actually what I will be doing after this tonight. I need to do some reading. All right. At work, I did work a little bit on Alice in Wonderland. I'm still not terribly far. I got part of... I got a little bit more of this done. So, there was one day at work that quite literally I got, like, no actual stitching done. And then I switched over projects because I was a little burned on this one. So this one's going to go back to work with me probably this week. I'm also dragging my feet a little on it because since I don't have the colors to continue working once I finish part 1, I'm stuck. So I'm just going to kind of hold off a little bit. I think, on it, at least until I get the rest of the Aurifil. So what did I take to work with me? Well, here. Then I'll show you what little bit I did on Atlantis before it got put away for the time being. I did not get much done. I got... Oh, I didn't even finish putting the needle through. Good job, me. I got that done. So I got I got about half of a motif, and then I was like, I'm not enjoying this right now. So that gets to go back into the wood thing. I did actually bring Needles Dance, the one that was a joint between Ink Circles, Summer House Stitchworks, and Hands On Design. It was a kit they did a couple of years ago, and they did release the pattern in full. But as some of you may recall, some of you may not, the chart was mismarked. The center was off by 14 squares, or 14 rows or so. It was something ridiculously large. And so while I do have enough fabric for it, it still kind of makes me angry to look at. And it's also on a dark fabric. It's on Witchelt fabric, and I'm struggling to see on it, because weirdly, the lighting here, even though it's overall better, isn't as conducive to dark fabrics, which is going to make Great Gatsby very interesting to do. So, and then I worked on, I'm going to take it to work next week so that I can kind of finish out the page, but I worked on Quiltz from Long Dog Samplers. So that's the design in full. I'm down in this section here. Good. But there's where I am on it. So I got most of the border. The one spot triangle it's not done is because that color wasn't in the part I was working on this week. Because I worked on this part here. So I've still got a heart, and then I've got the sort of log cabiny blocks here. So I'll finally be able to finish that part. But just a little bit left. So I do think that probably lunch-wise, at work this week, I should be able to finish out the page, which will be pretty exciting. I really love this one, even though its colors are inspired by the Pennsylvania Dutch quilts. Although I kind of think it might be Pennsylvania Dutch by way of Jefferson Starship. But that's okay too. All right, so what am I going to be working on this week? Well, for sure, starting tomorrow is the first day of a stitch along that Michelle Bindi and I are doing, called Quirky, Quaker's Mythical Creatures. It's by Darling and Whimsy Design on Etsy. I'll link it below. It is these stinking cute Quaker cryptids. So we're calling it the Quaker Cryptid Sal. And there's technically 3 of them, but there's 2 colorways for one. So you have the Loch Ness Monster, you have a unicorn, and you have a Bigfoot, and an alternate colorway to make it make it an abominable snowman / yeti. So I'm going to be doing all 4, and I'm going to do it sort of in the order it's pictured here, except snowman's going to be over here. So I'll start with either the unicorn or the Loch Ness Monster. And I will be doing it on this fantastic piece of 16 count Ada that Rob dyed for me last year, and I've kind of been waiting for the right project for. So it's called Mayflowers, but it's kind of swirly and funky, and I think it's going to be really super cute to do all of the Quakers in a row together on it. So very much looking forward to starting that tomorrow. You're welcome to join us. There's no official rules. There's no official, we're going to do one a month or anything like that. It's just Sal to be a Sal. So very much looking forward, like I said, to starting that tomorrow. So, yeah, that's kind of it for me today. I hope everyone has a terrific week. If you celebrate Father's Day, happy Father's Day. And if you don't, well then, happy Sunday. But I hope everyone has a great week, and I will see you all next time. Bye!